In this video, I will talk about how to enable the use of insertion operator for class objects to display the object's data to the standard output. In other words, I will explain overloading insertion operator so that we will be able to insert our class objects into cout object. Now, jumping into the code, to explain this, I'm starting from this code. In this code, I have a student class with attributes student number, name, marks, and number of marks. This array is to hold the marks, and this member is to keep track of the number of marks in in this array. This is a default constructor, and we have a custom constructor which receives the number of the student number, name of the student, marks array, and the number of marks. At this point, I actually want to remove this default parameter values. Now, this if statement, if else statement will actually validate number and name, and the second if else statement will do validation of the marks and number. And if it's not valid, it will set to corresponding default state. For number, it is 0. For name, it is empty string. For the marks, it is number of marks equals to 0. And I have a marks array and the size. This size has the elements 4, 3, 5, which actually are the numbers in the sub arrays or element arrays of this marks array. This is two-dimensional array. So in each row, you have in the first row you have 4 elements. In the second row you have 3 elements, and in the third row you have 5 elements marks. So we are going to use this the base. First, before I start, I want to do a compilation so that there is no problem in the code I have so far. Compilation and linking. There are some warnings, so I want to ignore this warning at this point because marks and size are not used, so that is a warning. And I am actually it is executing without issue, so that means there is no problem in the code. I have not any I don't have any statement to display the data, so it's not displaying anything. Now here today actually I want to build up this code, expand this code so that I will be able to ultimately demonstrate something like this. If I, for example, first let me create the student object by invoking this constructor which receives the student number, name, and marks, and the number of marks. So for that, what I'm going to do is create a student object called S1, and student ID 1001, marks let's say Harry, and name Harry, and marks I'm going to be passing the first row as an array here. So it's going to be marks 0. This will actually pass the address of the first element. That means this actually represents the address of this element, so it will be passed as an array. And I have the size 0. So this is one object, a student object I have created. What I want to do here is I want to be able to display this data by using cout statement like this S1. So far this kind of operation is not enabled, so I want to show you how to enable this insertion operator in our class. So let me comment this out. Before that, you need to have a function to display the data. So I need to write a function that I can call to display this data. So let me call that function as a print function. Actually, I want to pass the type, this object, into the function itself, so that I can use that object to display the data. So this function will be receiving OS stream type object as a reference. Call this OS, and inside the function what I would do is um, I will do the validation. I will assume that if number is not positive, then I would say I would consider entire object is invalid. So I would do everything if number is student number is positive, then I will do printing thing. Otherwise, I will just display invalid object. But to display that invalid object, I will be using this received object. So instead of cout, right, this is going to be here. Now here, if number is 0, then I would actually display the number. It's not 0. I would display a number by using s, right. So by using this object, OSTream object, and after that, if name is valid, I'll check name, either the first character is valid or not, and if it is valid, then I would insert name after comma, else I will just insert the text not available. So, and after that, I also want to check if the number of marks is positive or greater than 0. If s is positive, then I would display the data, the marks one by one, but I want to put a comma after this display, right. So I think I also want to put comma here, no, yeah, comma here. Then want to put one comma OS, and followed by, I need to iterate in the loop. So I have a for loop, int I equals to 0, I less than s number mark, and I plus plus, and I insert marks, and after that I actually want to display comma in between marks, and in the last case I actually want to display dot. So for that purpose, I would compare I equals to s num marks minus 1. If it is true, I would display dot, otherwise I would display comma, right. So if it is it reaches the last marks, I would display dot after that, otherwise before that I display comma. And if yeah, and if marks is not valid, I will just display not available OS after comma. So this is the thing that is going to be displayed. So this is the function I have, and right. So to display the data, let me try to use it so that I can be sure that there is no problem with this function. Then I can move ahead with further discussion. So I have s1 object here. So I want to actually display the data by calling print function, but in print function I want to pass a cout as an argument, right. So it receives the OSTream type object, so we need to pass here this object here. So let me switch to the terminal and compile link followed by execution. Now we have student ID, name, and then marks of that student, 50, 55, 64 marks are actually displayed, shared by comma. And just remember there is a dot and the last after the last marks, but before that it is comma. That is because actually I had placed this expression here, and actually that actually takes care of that, right. Now once this is displayed, let me have another object created. let's say S2 4G04 Alexander marks 1 1, the second marks I want to actually pass here. Now if I display S2 data, right, and I want to see what happens in the terminal here. So back to the terminal, compilation and linking, and execution. Now you can see the second object's data is displayed, ID, name, and the marks, but they are displayed in the same line. What I want to do in this case is I actually want to display in different line this data. So one option, straightforward option would be you want to actually put this statement something like this, but I didn't want to do that because actually I want to after this is displayed, I want to actually insert a new line after this, right, so that the next display will automatically go to the next line. So for that, if you want to enable this, then there should be something on the left hand side, right? So when we call this function actually returns void. So there is nothing. I mean, in this case, in this current situation, it's like writing something like this: void. This statement doesn't make any sense, right? So we expect cout to be placed in this on the left side. So therefore, the result of this invocation of the function, we want it to be cout. So whatever is passed, we want to return that, right? So for that, we want to change the return type of this print function to OSTream reference, and at the end of the function, we actually have a return statement to return OS. Right. So now we have this function receives OS object, OSTream object, uses that object to display the data, and it returns the same OS object. Right. Now that return OS object will be placed in this place, and then you insert a new line character on the output stream through this return object. So now this should actually display in the two different lines. So let me verify this in the terminal. Compilation, linking, execution. Now you can see these two data are actually displayed in two different lines. First Harry and Alexander, right? So now let me switch back to code. What I want to actually do in this case is I actually want to be able to use this statement instead of using like this. I want to be able to cout S1, cout S2. Right? I want to actually use this so that the same data that was displayed should be displayed on the output stream. In that case, on the left hand side you have cout. Therefore, this is you cannot have a member function. You need to have some global function that actually receives this as a first parameter, and this thing as a second. In its second parameter, right? So for that we want to actually overload the insertion operator as a global function, right? So the way of doing that is you have a keyword operator, and then this actual operator you want to overload, and this function, if you are putting in the global scope, it must have two parameters. Let me have a return type void at the moment, and the first parameter must be output stream. And when you pass output stream, you pass as a reference OS, and you need to second parameter is the let me, I think there was a problem here. So second parameter is going to be the object, type of the object you want to pass. This object, the type of this object is in this case is student, right? So you want to pass student type and pass as a reference. And when you're displaying the data, you don't want this function to make changes, so make it constant and give the name, object name. Inside this object name, you can simply, this is very straightforward, you can call this function, because this is a member function of this class, so you can call this function st dot print. And in this print function, like here in this invocation we passed cout, so you can pass this object in this function print os. And now this function also returns OS, so you can directly return whatever is written here, right? So let me just pause and first try to make this code work, and I will explain that in a moment. So now the problem, we're having problem. If you see the comment here, the error, it says that type qualifiers that are not compatible with the member function, right? So what it is saying that this qualifier of this function is not compatible with this object. So since we have this object as a constant, then whatever function you call through this object st must be constant, right? For safety purpose, and actually the C++ syntax actually enforces that. So we must have we must make this print function as a constant if you want to use this through this constant object. So you put constant keyword here, so to actually get over that error. Now you actually this function will enable you to use these two statements to insert the object, student object, into output stream directly. So I want to actually switch to the terminal and see whether this code works or not. Compile and linking. I think there is a problem. S2. I think there is some syntactic problem. Let me go back and correct it. So yeah, this semicolon is missing, I guess. Let me go back, compile and link, and execute. Now it is executing, but this is the data that is displayed here, but both data are actually displayed in the same line. So I want to actually display in different lines, okay, like I did in the previous case. So back to the code. Now again, like we had to this the result of this evaluation. For example, if I insert a new line here, then there would be a problem here, because this function evaluation, this expression evaluation, will actually return void type. So like in the before, it's after this it is evaluated, and if this endl new line is being inserted at that time, the expression will effectively will be void endl, right? So we don't want that, right? So in the left side we want cout again, so we want this function to actually return cout object. Therefore in this case we actually want to have a return type, stream type, and we actually either you can return OS, but in this case we want to, if you want to make this code more compact, if you look into this print function, it returns OS itself, so you can directly return whatever returned by this function, right? So this will make this code look more simpler, more compact. So this is the thing here, and with this you are able to do display using this syntax, or you can have a chained insertion like this, S1 S2 like this, right? So this should also work. I'm going to be switching to the terminal. Let me clear it out, and compilation and linking, and we have execution. Now you can see these two lines were outputted by these two lines were outputted by this two statements, and then this chain statement actually displayed the other next two lines. So these two lines, right? So back to the code. Yeah, this is all I wanted to actually talk about inserting, enabling the use of insertion operator for the class. Thank you for watching. In the next video, I will talk about uh, using extraction operator like this, actually to read the data into the object, student object. Thank you for watching.